Welcome all ladies and gentlemen to this analysis. Now, politics has no limits and it's a very interesting game. One thing I've realized with politicians is that every opportunity, or rather, let me rather say anything that comes around, you must find a way you navigate around it to survive politically, especially for the political players in this country. You remember there was that story of Karen eviction, and it was a very emotive issue. When the Kenya Kwanza team were signing their agreement, where the 8 parties had joined the 3 parties that were formerly founders of Kenya Kwanza, William Ruto and Waiguru came out to speak categorically about a program, or rather a plan, by government to eject them from the current residence. So that has been there. But the same week, the Director of Public Prosecutions, Nordin Haji, made a pronouncement that they were not going to convict governors, they were not going to charge governors that are facing corruption cases. Now, if you are keen in following what is happening, government has been trying to avoid frictional projects, projects that will involve things like maybe demolitions, because demolitions normally bring a lot of displacement, such. So that has been there, and I had a perception that, of course, the move to evict William Ruto was just politically motivated. That was the ground, the common ground for many of us. Now, in this video, I will show you what exactly is happening, or what exactly happened, and how Deputy President William Ruto decided to twist that story and where it all came from. Because even after Ruto making that statement, the different ministries, specific ministries that are charged with that responsibility, especially the public works, did not give any statement or any response to what Ruto was saying. In fact, that story literally died. Now, this is what happened. There are a group of Mau Mau veterans who went to court, and they charged Deputy President William Ruto of some offenses. So one was that he had abandoned the government and the Jubilee Party and was selling the ideals of the UDA party. 2 was that he's using the resources of the government to conduct his campaigns. Now, they were, and in their suit, in the lawsuit, they mentioned the use of current residence for political meetings, and and also the annex Harambee House office. Now, this group of Mau Mau veterans from Mount Kenya had sued Deputy President and were demanding that he be evicted, and I want to get this clearly, he be evicted from current residence, to be stopped from using the Harambee House office. So that is where that story generated. Then the court issued Deputy President William Ruto with the lawsuit, with the suit, after the petitioners went to court, and Justice Hedwig Ongudi slated the hearing of that case to be on 19th May. That will be like 2 weeks, let's say like 3 weeks from now. So immediately the lawyers of Deputy President the office of Deputy President was served by that lawsuit. They kept cut on it, they received it, but then they came out in public, and I think I should get for you that clip. Yes, they came out in public to say that there are other things that are happening. Government should not even plan about doing maybe renovating the residence of Deputy President. I want us to listen to it here.
I understand that we will have a new Deputy President in a couple of months after the next general election. But I also understand that he will be, or she will be for that matter, a Kenya Kwanza Deputy President. I'm very confident. And I want to tell the good people who want to assist us with the renovation that for Kenya Kwanza, renovating the residence of the Deputy President is not a priority. The priority is to sort out the hunger of the close to 3 million Kenyans who today are sleeping hungry. There are many people who are obsessed with positions and with largesse about leaders. I want to persuade them for a difference, that please, we have 3 million Kenyans today facing starvation. It is only inhuman if anybody thinks that while we have 3 million Kenyans facing starvation, that the priority is to renovate the residence of the Deputy President.
Instead of mentioning the petitioner, what they decided to do is to twist the story to say that government was planning to do an eviction. So, and by the way, even the leading media houses in Kenya were captured in this twist. And many of them then were, I think, they did not do a lot of fact check. That is what I realized. People did not do a lot of fact check because the story was just reported that way, and no one really asked. Of course, there was just a referral to the 2019 renovation plan. That was somewhere there during the time when there was a renovation there is a construction of the office of Deputy President, that was the residence of Deputy President that was going on in Mombasa. Now, I want to explain for you why this story was twisted. And if you look at it, Ruto was simply trying to evade mentioning the petitioners. Who are the petitioners? Mau Mau veterans. Ladies and gentlemen, just I want you to hold it there. Are you a small-scale enterprise looking for an opportunity to supply and have an access to a Dubai supermarket? Now, the good news here is that you can now supply directly to a Dubai supermarket to get payment conveniently. Now, this supermarket is not only for the Dubai, but it's also targeting the African space. It's very interesting. Now, I want you to get the traction here. When you supply and sell your products in Dubai, one, you are going to sell directly to a retail. This is what is making it different. And two, you're going to sell to a higher currency, and what that means is that you're going to have a higher income. Now, are you interested? You can supply as many things as possible, but they should be organic. That is what will make your product different. Now, you can supply leafy vegetables, you can supply the fresh meat, processed food, the peas, nduma, cassava, and all that. They're looking for the traditional or the organic food. What you need to do is simple. Visit their landing page or their website, kipepeoafrica.com, Africa with a K, and become a supplier. Most interestingly, you also need to attend the groundbreaking ceremony that is going to be held in Dubai. Yes, so that you have an understanding to what exactly is happening. Then what you will actually need to do is you need to get there, then they will get into contact with you, they will send you a form that you can fill, and through all that engagement, you establish a relationship between your product or what you can supply to a retail supermarket in Dubai. Wow, what an amazing opportunity. You need to check out. By the way, I am part of that flight because I'll also be supplying something, so to siseme sana. Yeah, such an amazing. Check out Kipepeo Africa. people.com, people with K. Now, I want us to get to the gist of this analysis. Why Ruto twisted that story. Are you watching this video and you've not yet subscribed? Then kindly subscribe. Click the notification bell and also like our video. Our question of this analysis today is this. If there was a demolition, why do you think government would conduct such an exercise during this time? Do you think it is possible? And why would there be that? Number one, there is something that I want us to get from this story. Now, Ruto twisted this to be purely a government project to make sure that he can evade calling the name of the petitioners. So what he wanted to do is to try to create a perception that government is mistreating him. And it's not creating. That was, I think that was the base, that was his script all the way from 2017 all the way to the 2022. So it's just going to add into that. And what this would mean is you drive the sympathy. That it's as simple as that. That is what really Ruto wanted to achieve by that. Now, I wanted to look at, secondly, the demographic of the petitioner. The petitioner are Mau Mau veterans. Now, these Mau Mau veterans, in my understanding, the archetype they present, or rather a population they present, is the elderly. Especially now the elderly from central Kenya, because this is where the most Mau Mau veterans come from. Now, with this, if Ruto will now start a clash, or rather a direct friction with Mau Mau veterans, what this will pose is it will cut down on his voting demographic in central Kenya. Because if the people that support mostly Raila Odinga's presidential bid from central Kenya, we understand are the senior citizens. Now, a group of the senior citizens are the ones that are now calling on Deputy President to make sure that he does not stay in office. So that is why that voting demographic is one that Ruto did not want a friction. And that was in order. Because if you have this friction, these guys, it was not going to work for him. Now, there is an issue that you cannot wish away here. The issue of misusing government resources. Now, you know, this question, Ruto is not receiving it for the first time. People have always asked him, you used the current residents to do UDA campaigns. Actually, the current office is now maybe the center of power of UDA is shifted there. That's where all the negotiations are being done. And he's never responded to that. Even though there is a thin line between Deputy President William Ruto and William Ruto as the party leader. So I don't know that someone will expect that because he's a party leader of UDA, he will operate from UDA headquarters. But at the same time, he's also the designated Deputy President of the Republic of Kenya. So what he also did is evade that conversation, because what that was bringing is asking, okay, we are saying that you're using the current residents for UDA meetings. So if you want to defend, how will be the defense? So he would not want to make a public defense on that because he's been evading. In fact, when the UDA bloggers, the way they respond to that question, they say, before you tell Ruto that, can you ask the president to stop using the State House? Interestingly, and of course this is politics. Then the issue of the current residence office and the annex office, it was going to put to question his campaign financing. I can tell you, if there is something, if there is an issue, and I had analyzed here on where Ruto gets the money, and not even Ruto, both even Azimio and Kenya Kwanza team, the question of campaign financing will still remain in the dark. No one wants to ask that question. No one wants to answer that question. Now, that court case, or rather that petition, was bringing into focus the issue of campaign financing. Because part of what Mau Mau veterans were saying is that he's using government resources to fund his campaigns. Now, this has been there, but of course there are also reports of William Ruto's cars are not being fueled in designate government filling stations and all that. So I think that is what exactly is happening. But if you look at this keenly, there was a deliberate or intentional move to twist that story to be a government agenda, but not that it's coming from a petition. Ladies and gentlemen, what is your take on this? And let's meet in our next analysis.